Okay, so what you're gonna see in this video or this tactic is what's been done to me my entire life since a young child. From person to person, place to place, all across the world, on IRC, internet-related chat in the 90s to 2000 while I lived in Colorado, and back here, students in Southern Oregon State College, students in 8th grade like Brian Weaver, Tom Farley, high school, Calabasas High, you name it. I've had friends, or I've had people that have come in my life for one day, 10 minutes, one day, to friends that have been in my life for 10 years, 15 years, some even 20 years, even family. Yes, family. Going from person to person, from theory to theory, from thing to thing, based on approaching me, trying to weasel into my life, trying to get dirt on me, and then when they can't get me to look crazy or make me look crazy or get me to fall for the setups, the setups then turn into frame jobs because they have to cover up their crimes by trying to make me look crazy, and then it ends up in them realizing that I'm starting to find out what they're doing, to them having to cover up the operations one to the next, and not only one to the next, but them all conspiring together across the internet with internet tools. And before the internet, people would follow me up to college, or people with the government would notify the masses in local areas that I'm supposedly crazy and to do these things to me. But yet, people don't follow people around. See that guy, he's a bad person. We have to hunt him, kill him, eradicate him, lock him in a cage. If someone actually believes someone's crazy, they don't like them, they don't trust them, they just stay away from him. Hey, that guy over there, he's crazy. Okay, and they go and they live their little merry lives. Me, girl after girl after girl after girl, my entire life sent after me to try to set me up or prove I'm crazy, with my own mother, father, brother, stepbrother, you name it, friends, you name it, all working on me to either try to put words in my mouth, to try to get me to say things that they can twist and contort and use against me, or just fabricate complete fiction and then disseminate it worldwide. Once they don't get the answer they want, or me to say what they want me to say, they'll twist and contort fragments maybe of what I say and disseminate it worldwide. And then once they realize that I'm smart enough to catch on to what they're doing, that's when the death threats, the blackmail, you don't tell anyone or we kill you, things like this, which all link back to my brother at 16 telling me that he and his friends are going to put me in a mental institution, which goes back to a younger and younger age, like 8th grade, Tom Farley with Tracy Picos, trying to make me mentally ill, Paul Humphrey sent in my life, fabrications that I supposedly bullied Ryan Hirsch to death in 8th grade when it was Brian Weaver, which was an asshole to Brian Hirsch for about 15 minutes total, telling the world I'm a bully with my family and that I need to be stopped and for what I'm doing and my horrible activities and my horrible anger and rage, yet there's nothing I've done, and anything that the world's told I have done is either cover up operations for all the things my friends were doing around me, like Greg Wall, my brother, and many others, or just complete fictional fabrications with full government, LAPD, police worldwide. People like Kelly Hatch sent after me to follow me to Southern Oregon State College with my family, making up lies that I'm somehow the bad seed from the movie 1946, Bad Seed, trying to flip me out, make me look crazy, make it look like I conform to media. But who's coming up with these weird, freaky ideas to try to make it look like I conform to media? Well, if some of the movies, 1946, A Bad Seed, 1960, The Grass is Greener, those people, I was born in 1972, so those people have to be a lot older than me, and and since it's coming from my family and my brother at a young age, told to keep showing me horror movies with his friends to try to make it look like I'm crazy and conform to horror movies or every other type of media and music, you get the idea. The bad seed and the grass is greener. My mother or father probably watched the movie and said, this is a really good idea to try to make our son look crazy and make it look like he conforms to media. The media tactic and every other tactic in the thousands, literally, to try to make me look crazy have been done to me my entire life, from stranger after stranger, especially people like Mike Huntley paid off to have me killed, introduced into my life at 14, around the time my mother was running around asking me if I hit Josh Burnham in the head with a golf club. You get the idea. These weird, freaky accusations, lies, just keep changing on an hourly basis and instantly are disseminated worldwide across internet-built tools that have been built around me so the world can take turns on me all day and night, 24/7, anywhere people are worldwide, and coordinated mass psychological mental batterings to inflict severe brain damage, like brain hemorrhaging, without actually physically touching anyone. Some people on the internet that are gang stalking targets, or the ones that claim they're gang stalking targets to get attention, because it's very rare that someone actually is a real gang stalking target, and everyone else is sort of like trying to become famous or something off of it. Like, years after I found out what's going on, all of a sudden it became a worldwide trend about gang stalking, but there's not much actual real gang stalking. It's very rare. It does happen. It's usually police level in small areas. I'm known worldwide, 10 times more known than Donald Trump, meaning that that's totally out of the league, or whatever you want to call it, of normal gang stalking, because anywhere I go in the world, people know me, they want me dead, and then they go, I don't know you. Worldwide. And there's no group of people coming forward directly stating, Kevin, I know what's going on. This is where they're putting the information. This is how they're doing it. Security companies are being paid off to follow me from place to place, making up lie after lie, while working with the police to hunt me. Things like this, right? Okay, so, and it's vast. I mean, trust me, I've been with policeabuse.com in front of the White House of the United States of America, watching White House security flip out from simply, while they're counter-surveillancing, simply proving that whether I'm crazy or I'm not is irrelevant. How is it that I simply walk with the tourists for 10 minutes in front of the White House, White House security follows me in an obvious way throughout the city, trying to thug, intimidate, scare, you name it, unless something of a global freaky magnitude with the government of the United States of America is going on, and it is, and we all know it is. Hence, the situation. Okay, so, remember, this just goes from person to person, and it's always the same. I'm going to try to make you look crazy. I can't get what I want. Now you better not talk or we're going to kill you. Obviously, the direct death threats are a lot fewer, but I do have several on video. Some very direct, some cryptic, like, you better learn to accept what's going on or it's going to get a lot worse for you. Hence a death threat that we're going to mentally bludgeon you to death with psychological warfare tactics. Now the police claim that killing people, I probably have 15 to 20 police station recordings all across Southern California who all knew me when I walked in, me showing them proof of the crimes, not just here, but what I would do is I would go out to a coffee shop or a restaurant within the local area, get proof of me being attacked, then try to show them not only my local area, but within their area, and they all, not only did they all have templated ways to sort of shut me down instantly, to try to make me look crazy, but They flat out said it, almost each and every one. If mass groups get together to hurt, harm, maim, kill you without physically touching you, then it's not a crime and they're allowed to do it. Now, we all know that there's millions of crimes that don't involve physical touch. If you want to call something assault or battery, yeah, that really, battery implies physical touch. But the crime itself of killing someone, especially a conspiracy, or to lock them away or rid them of the world, are on the same magnitude of killing someone because you're destroying their life. You're stopping them from having freedoms and going out and living their lives with premeditation and motive, are the crimes of all crimes, and any honest, decent lawyer is going to say, yes, that is beyond any level of a crime. I want to hurt that guy, I want to kill him. I'm not going to physically touch him. I thought it out calculatedly beforehand, and then I had groups of people follow him around until something really horrific and bad happened to him. Yes, the crime of all crimes, and no, you don't need to physically touch someone, just like putting poison in someone's food, you don't physically touch them. Okay, so that being said, what happened on this event, but remember, this applies to the similarities of all the places I go, from coffee shops to restaurants, and on a daily basis I've now witnessed for 18 years, each and every place, people coming up. I mean, different things happen every day, but the same types of, whether it's people trying to make me look crazy, people trying to get confessions that I look crazy, that I'm crazy, or twist the words to make it look like I'm crazy, or whatever, happens every single day, every hour of every day, whether it's on the internet, whether it's in public places, anywhere in the world. So what you're going to see here is a guy who followed me. He either followed me to El Pollo Loco, which I think he did, or he saw me going, there's Kevin Perlman, I'm going to work on him and go, I don't know you, the usual tactics. And of course in the parking lot there's people waiting backwards with lights on, which are some of the tactics and things like that, groups. And pretty much at every time I've ever been to this location, the same thing at every other location, whether it's an El Pollo Loco, a Starbucks, a Coffee Bean, you name it, of people trying to make me look crazy and then trying to play the crazy justification card. Well, Kevin's crazy, so we're going to hunt him and kill him. So it's okay because it's crazy, because he's crazy. Making the statement, their statement is, crazy people aren't allowed to exist. Okay, well, my first thought, what is crazy? Is some girl that likes to screw a lot crazy? Because I've seen people all the time go, that girl's crazy, I'm going to stay away from her. She's like screwed everyone. Whatever. Me personally, if you said, I would say, I think it's crazy to become a police officer, and I'm not saying there shouldn't be police officers, but what I'm saying is, I never would want to become a police officer. I would want to do what I did up until 29 with my capitalistic, innovative, creative thinking and passion, is figure out really cool, new, innovative ways to make money. And following people around in black and white cars does not seem to entertaining or productive to me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is that people's perceptions of crazy or different or this or that or culturally, whatever, are all different. So who's to say, well, you see that girl, she screws a lot of guys and she doesn't want to have kids or family, so she's crazy, so I'm going to hunt her down and kill her. That's basically what's being said to me about me. Now, we all know from a rational, sane perspective, normally people don't do that and they don't think that way. The things that are being done to me. So my point is that the people that are hunting me and stalking me since literally 5 years old, which is freakier than hell, their thought process is, if you're different or crazy or even bad, you're a bad person, because remember, we're talking about the movie The Bad Seed, I have the right to hunt you down and kill you, try to set you up, try to frame you, try to make you mentally ill and lock you in a mental institution like my brother and his friends. Me and my friends are going to put you in a mental institution. I Actually, to be honest, it was a little less direct. It was me and my friends put a teacher in a mental institution, and now we have a bug in your room, and we're listening to everything you do on the radio to try to figure out how to flip me into paranoia. Then teachers like Mr. Quigley in 10th grade English class is telling me to hit Paul Schaefer to try to set me up to make it look like I'm a violent paranoid schizo. You get the idea. Okay, these are the things, types of things, endless things like this they don't want me talking about. Okay, so I go to fast food, guy shows up, first thing he says, he yells, voice to skull, trying to, you can tell he's reading shit off the internet about gang stalking and trying to collect personal things about me and then twist it and contort it. Oh, well, he knew what voice to skull is, so he's crazy. Now the first thing is, when you hear this guy talk, I want you to notice that he keeps jumping from theory. He goes this way to that way, to saying that the British control us, all sorts of weird things that don't make any sense. He says that someone's implanting dreams in his head. He's saying that all of Hollywood is part of the Illuminati. Right? Now, why is he saying this? Because he wants me to agree and go, I talked to Kevin and he's crazy. Right? But you'll see from my conversation that, one, I'm trying to be nice, because you don't just sit there and go, you're crazy, and grab a crowbar like my brother does and start trying to bash their skull in. You try to be nice and whatever, and then you go, well, that guy's weird or whatever, I'm just going to walk away. Right? That's what you normally do. Now, what happens is, by me being nice, which then I have weirdos following me around, like, you have a problem because you're too nice, that doesn't make sense. He tries to use the being nice and I'm willing to listen to you for a few minutes to you're crazy. So you're going to notice a few things. As I'm going through the drive-thru, the guy at the drive-thru kind of sort of doesn't want the cars, so I go, take the cars, pass them out. And he doesn't say no, so he takes them. Now, the LAPD would probably say, oh, hey, you've tried to force the cards on people. Why do I say that? Because Sean Dinsey and many other people in the LAPD have fabricated cover-up lies that I'm somehow trying to force the cards on people, and they're going around saying, well, in high school they called you Kid Taco, so you won't shut up with your conspiracy theories. But the first thing you might ask is, I'm 47, how does anyone from the LAPD, NSA, FBI, government know that when I was 16 my friends called me Kid Taco? More importantly, Kid Taco wasn't about talking. It was about me building cars and building this complete piece of shit 69 Firebird I bought for $300, just the biggest pile of shit known to man, and I dropped the 350 Chevy in it, and just because I wanted to build cars and I didn't care how it looked, because for me, learning how to build cars from books and going out and doing it all on my own was more important than being a spoiled brat with a brand new BMW trying to impress all my friends, right? So, Kid Taco, my friends were joking, belittling me and joking, hey, Kid Taco, okay? Not a big deal. They did it to all, whatever. Brian Smith had bad teeth and they called him Bucky, whatever, okay? And me and Bucky didn't run around crying like, oh, boo-hoo, they ruined my life, whatever. Okay, so anyways, the point is that they're collecting, and when they're collecting, they're actually using NSA level resources and distributing all to the entire planet these fictional things about me in secret to rile up the masses against me worldwide. Then they're saying you're imagining it, nobody knows you're crazy. Trying to put me in the middle of this situation which doesn't exist, to try to make it look like I'm paranoid and a violent paranoid schizo. And you're going to see that here. Guy runs up to the side of the car right before I pass out the cars. He's waiting for me at the end of the drive-thru. He's pretending to be friendly, but he's not. He's actually trying to thug, blackmail, belittle me. As I start talking to him, actually I didn't notice when I was talking to him, but you're going to see on the front DVR camera, a girl walks by and she kind of goes like this. And it was like almost like some kind of, you don't know for sure, but it's like some kind of threat, like don't talk. You better not talk, right? There's also other people waiting backwards with lights on or lights on, and they're doing it because I'm there. They're not doing it because they got in the car and they're waiting to leave and getting ready to leave. Now, what is voice to skull? I'm just going to explain what voice to skull is, because that's how he entered the conversation. Okay? Now remember, there's no legitimate terms in the world of being a target or being gang stalked, because it's not a legitimate thing and the crimes are so rare to begin with. But some people have put together a term which they call voice to skull, and what that is, it has nothing to do with supernatural powers or someone with telepathy trying to collapse your brain, or secret guns that they point at you and it collapses your brain. It has nothing to do with anything that these type of people that you're going to see on video are sort of trying to make me look crazy because they know that I know what's going on. What voice to skull means is that strangers are going to do things to try to sort of give you head trauma in repetitive passive-aggressive attacks. Example, if you're sitting at a coffee shop and in 10 minutes 15 people walk up with black pants and green solid shirts, that's not really voice, but it's the same thing. We're trying to sort of give you head trauma because you're observing these groups doing these things to you. More importantly, for example, when I was 29 and Mike Huntley, I knew for 15 years, originally my brother's friend, he and his friends are going to put me in a mental institution, went from I'm your friend to, and I want to start a 6-year company, Signet, an internet host provider, with me for 6 years. At the end of the 6 years, he went from I'm your 14-year friend to I've given you enough rope to hang yourself with, we're using the system against you, you had better live a careful life, you're too out of control for California. He's dropping papers on my desk about South Korea and making people mentally ill to control them, which is like, what the hell? He's walking around the office singing World of Paranoia. By the way, they're sending a guy in around 96, 97 on internet-related chat, IRC named Paranoid, to try to make me paranoid, with about 100 other people working with him doing these same types of things. Women, guys, you name it. I don't want to go into specifics. Even trying to set me up to make it look like I'm a pedophile, or trying to manipulate me into statutory rape and weird freaky things like this, with one of my brother's friends, Mike Wexler, sent after me at University of Colorado, and a girl named Lynn Junkin, all working together from different parts of the world, all sort of working together. For me at 29, after Mike Huntley was giving me these death threats that I was kind of like deer in headlights, like what the hell is going on, something like 10 to 40 people per day who saw me would whistle. And people who are chefs at almost every restaurant in the world that I was in would continually whistle the entire time. Starbucks employees constantly whistling to try to provoke me and trigger me into anger, to flip me out, to try to go off on them, to make it look like I'm a violent paranoid schizo. What else? Or I should say, so that's the voice to skull. Example, if I walk into a Starbucks and I'm sitting there, and this happened at almost every location in the world, not only is the Starbucks employee working there, but each person that walks by me, one sequentially after the next, starts to whistle. And then the next one goes by, and the next one goes by, and then you hop in your car. I hopped in my car, I went down to Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, Oxnard, random strangers, Hollywood, random strangers would see me and whistle as they walked by, or as I was in a public establishment, hence restaurants or whatever. That's the voice to skull. Now when you see this guy talk, he's trying to make me look crazy by saying, oh, Kevin agreed that he's a victim of voice to skull, and then he starts talking about things like people implanting dreams. Well, these are two separate things. Everything I'm talking about is logical, it's factual, it can easily be done with internet resources, database resources, mailing systems, SMS systems, group SMS systems. Example, I walk out of my house, someone's waiting in a car, they text to about 1,000 people, Kevin just walked out, follow him to these places. That's not the same as people implanting dreams and things like this. But these are the things that they're referring to when they say street theater or voice to skull. Or he also mentions street theater, which I used to mention a lot. Street theater is kind of like the act. Let's say I go to a supermarket. All these staged things are done like, I'm trying to think of an example. You walk by, someone drops 5 toilet paper rolls on the ground, and all of a sudden there's this huge ordeal and how you did this and who you did that, dramatizing these events and this and that. They're creating the drama for you. They're framing you. But they're creating this drama that they're then taking and disseminating worldwide. So what he's doing is he's taking random phrases and he's turning them into fiction. Or he's turning them into these fantasies or things that can't happen. He also mentions a website. You'll notice the inconsistency of how he's talking. He talks about a website called like Badu or Bichu or something like that. And he talks about it's about I don't remember exactly what he says, anti-freedom of speech or this or that, I don't know. So anyways, I did the research on Badu or whatever. It's just a search engine. That's all it is. It's just another search engine out there. Nothing this, nothing that. It's just another search engine. Okay, so that is what you kind of call street theater. He's taking a normal situation, he's dramatizing it, he's trying to make me look crazy, then he's working with mass groups to hunt me down. Everything I'm talking about is logical and can easily be done, and I, with my crappy programming skills, .NET programming, SQL programming, server background, could literally build 80% of these types of things. That's the easy part. The hard part is walking up to people going, you see that guy, he's raped 10 girls, use this system to hunt him down and kill him, or whatever the fabrications they make up. And trust me, I have literally thousands and thousands of these types of accusations all across the planet, which then they all go, nobody knows you, you're imagining it. And that's where things really get weird and freaky, because that is not how things normally work in life or society. Normally people come up to you, and when they have anger, they deal with their anger and go, you know, you did this and you're a piece of shit. Okay, so that's why everything that's done to me is cryptically hinted over and over in repetition. He also mentions something like the Men in Black, hinting about the movie The Men in Black, trying to get me to say weird things. And then finally, he says something about the British still own us or this or that, and I ask him, well, what do you mean? And he clams up. You can't really see it on camera, but he gets nervous, he clams up, he doesn't know what to say, because at that point he realizes, oh shit, I just put my foot in my mouth, and he's the one saying the stupid, crazy shit. But more importantly, he realizes he's caught following me, trying to set me up, trying to frame me, and trying to thug and intimidate me. Now, there's one more thing. He's also wearing the saw black pants and saw green shirt tactic, which the day before I met with therapist Brittany Henderson, who was witnessing at all these public locations these mass attacks to torture and kill me with the clothing patterns, the honking of horns 2 and 3. She's acknowledged it on video at these locations. I was with her the day before at Planet Sushi at El Camino Shopping Center, which was close to a Starbucks. And Starbucks has invested insane amounts of money with the police and government to have me killed. They've been reeled into this thing. They're aiding and abetting a murder operation, and they're guilty of attempted murder to have me killed, not just at one location, at every Starbucks in the world. Then they're contacting every coffee shop worldwide, like Pete's and Coffee Bean and you name it, saying if Kevin comes in here, hunt him down, torture him, and kill him. Okay. And so they're obviously not wording it that way. They're wording it that Kevin's a horrible monster that's done these things and he's a bad person. And I've had several discussions with Brittany on video how people don't follow people around going, he's crazy, everyone get together, hunt him down and kill him. He's a bad person, everyone hunt him down and try to kill him. People don't think that way, they don't act like that way. My family and my father thinks that way, and my brother thinks that way because they're psychotic murderers. But the average person doesn't think that way, and then he also tries to cover up what he's involved in, saying that if you're in Hollywood, then you're part of the Illuminati or something weird like this. Right? Just complete bullshit. Okay, and you can see right through it instantly because he can't talk about specifics. I'm a target of Voice to Skull. Well, what's been done to you? Right? He can't answer the simple question factually or logically or based on situations. He's just rattling vague things, trying to sort of become my friend to then say, look, Kevin's crazy, I talked about this and that. Now, the most important thing is we all know, and most importantly he knows, before following me to El Pollo Loco, that he did not think I'm crazy. Before ever leaving his house. He has something to hide. Now, when he leaves, he says something like, good to meet you, man, or something like this, which is the man tactic. And most importantly about the man tactic, which has now been done for about, I'm guessing, about 2 years, almost from one person to the next, especially around here where I live, but instantly told to do it worldwide. People will walk by, hey man, how are you? How's your day, man? Hey, what are you doing, man? Person after person, one sequentially after the next, will say man, and that, once again, is the voice to skull tactic. Okay? That's what the voice to skull tactic is. Man, 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 man. From stranger after stranger, all day and night, from public place to public place, voice to skull. Now, what does that do to your skull? Well, it's hard to go out and get jobs or eat food or do things like that while person after person is systematically screwing with you, if that's how you want to sort of try to cover it up. But these aren't people joking around screwing with you while they might laugh. These are systematic psychological warfare, murder operations, eradication operations. And what is the motive? To collapse your brain, to give you nervous breakdowns, to stop you from being healthy, to hurt you, and without touching you. But the same thing as bashing someone's head in with a crowbar, just like I stopped my brother from doing to Gregoire, who's actually mad at me. Gregoire, my friend when I was 16, who I stopped from my brother from going after him with a crowbar, is actually mad at me, who I contacted last month, who doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't want to make a statement on video, although I do have the audio recorded showing yes, it did happen and Kevin isn't imagining it, with him confessing to it. And then right after this, my brother giving me the blood is thicker than water speech, and then when me saying I'm not going to take part in your psychotic bullshit or whatever, him threatening my life that he and his friends are going to put me in a mental institution. Turning out that Gregoire was never in danger, and Gregoire was working with my brother to try to make me look like the bad guy, and when they failed, once again, they got mad and realized that they had to cover up these operations, exponentially growing worldwide, and that is what you're seeing. Okay? Gregoire trying to make it look, trying to prove that Kevin Perlman, me, is crazy, my good friend from high school, you get the idea, following me from place to place after I graduate. I'm 47, he's come back in my life a few times, trying to set me up, trying to make me look crazy, trying to make it look like I'm competing with him, all sorts of weird shit that's always done to me every day, the street theater. And so what you're seeing is someone who's really not friends with Gregoire, but they have motive to cover up the crimes because they're so big. And when he leaves, oh, by the way, our conversations, mine and Greg recently, Greg sat there on the phone going, man, yes, Kevin, man, oh, man, 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 trying to trigger me and get me angry at him, to flip me out, to try to make me start screaming random things at him, say, look, I told you so, Kevin's crazy. Okay, So you now sort of can link the events back to early childhood and who's doing what. But more importantly, when this guy leaves and walks away, he says, I don't know exactly, you're going to see it in a second, but he says like, good meeting you, man, or something like that, showing that he's involved. So the very guy that's trying to make me look crazy and pretending that he's a gang stalking target, which you can see through within seconds, you could see through it when he showed up with the green and black, because the day I went to Planet Sushi with Brittany Henderson, about 20 people showed up. About 10 in green and blacks followed me, and I told Brittany this was going to happen before we even went there. And we were kind of close to a Starbucks outside when we were talking. Not that it would really matter. But Starbucks is more aggressive if I'm anywhere near a vicinity of one. And the mans, or the green and blacks, she flat out says on camera, I think we've seen about 20 camouflages in green and black show up stalking you. While Starbucks and the people working with them since that day last week have gotten extremely aggressive with people once again following me around with the man tactic. Now, more importantly, about 4 or 5 months ago, I have all sorts of proof at restaurants, coffee shops, especially Starbucks, of employees of me driving randomly from place to place, and on video, Starbucks employees, each one saying man to me. And once Starbucks and the other places realize that they're on the video stalking me to try to remove me from society in these mass, unheard of, unprecedented murder operations and crimes being done to me, that once they realized they were on video, Sean Dinsey, who's been fabricating and falsifying police reports over and over about me, and Dinsey's latest was that after the Starbucks employee realized that they were on video trying to kill me, some Starbucks employees working with Dinsey, most likely paid off by Topanga Division LAPD, claimed that I had threatened to kill all Starbucks customers. Yes, Kevin Perlman had supposedly threatened to kill all Starbucks customers, but yet Brittany Henderson has seen the video, my lawyer has seen the video, everyone has seen the video. The video is on the internet, showing not only this incident where a Starbucks employee is trying to turn me into the enemy of the state, with people like Victoria Walker stating connected to Sean Dinsey and many others in LAPD that I'm supposedly the next Unabomber. Why? Because I'm really nice and I'm too nice to everyone, and so I've been a really good guy, so that means I'm the next Unabomber. Well, once again, something that makes absolutely no sense at all. Showing how they're trying to cover up their murder operations and crime spree for the last 42 years. Okay, so my point is that now they're ramping up the man tactics because Sean Dinsey paid off, or the people that are working with the so-called neighborhood kill anyone that's homeless or imperfect operations, which there's proof on his Facebook accounts and you name it, and I have endless proof. They're trying to cover up these operations by fabricating these lies. Now the first thing you might say is, wait, Starbucks employees are actually telling police officers that Kevin Perlman supposedly threatened to kill all Starbucks customers, and it's on video that I didn't say one thing to any Starbucks customer, and I was fairly nice to the Starbucks employees, except for the part where they keep working on me and attacking me in their anger and rage, right? While getting proof of it. Okay, so he leaves, he says man. Okay, showing, once again, he's part of the mass conspiracy, but he doesn't want me talking. Now, within 24 hours and the next day, wherever I went, groups of people at public places, cigar shops, you name it, all people pulling up behind me. Example, I went to a 7-Eleven, I went to a gas station, people would pull up as I'm in there and they walk by, hey, how are you doing, man? In different cities, separate places. Not only that, one guy spit on my car what was parked out here, and then there's a big old spit thing on the glass, a common thing they do. And I went out to Chatsworth, and a guy at a cigar shop kept trying to provoke me into anger and rage with the man tactic and many other tactics, and he couldn't flip me out. So then he broke, and he came running out trying to force my cards on my card, because as I paid him, I put a few cards on his counter. Here's my website. And he got mad. I don't want this. And then he starts following me around. He follows me out to my car, trying to harass me. He puts them under my window, and then I basically go, "You're on fucking videos harassing me and provoking me." And then he tries to cover it up, and then he gets mad when he sees that he can't control me or thug me or bully me, so he actually spits in my face as I'm backing up and leaving. That's all on video as well. There's going to be multiple versions of this, so that'll be on the longer version. Showing first the spit things in twos from different cities, one in Chatsworth, one in Woodland Hills, and another thing right after this, one person on Canoga and Oxnard, as they drove by, they were screaming, yelling at me for no reason, and another guy in Simi Valley, Box Canyon. And here's my cat. She likes to steal the stage. And another guy that night in Simi Valley, Box Canyon, driving by and screaming. I think he said, like, you fucking asshole or something, and that's on video as well. Showing that these random strangers all across huge areas, from the crazy guy that nobody knows, right? Doesn't make any sense based on consistency of what they're saying, especially to me. Showing the mass conspiracies, how they're doing things in twos, just like the patterns of cars in twos and things like this. Honking the alarm horns 2 and 3 times worldwide when people see me. Once again, the voice to skull, the audible honk, 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 over and over, some days upwards of hundreds per day, depending on how long I'm outside. A lot of this on video, a lot of this audio recorded. And so that's the voice to skull. Now he gets mad when he realizes that, yes, I do know the terminology in a logical, rational, sane way. So he tries to make it look like, oh, Kevin said the word voice to skull to someone or on his website. And so playing mind games like, oh, people implant dreams in my head. Trying to make voice to skull look like people with telepathy planting dreams in the head. Things that don't make sense, right? Try to curve what the term really means, because he doesn't want me talking. Also, you might want to notice that I'm going to El Pollo Loco. It's a Mexican restaurant. Yay, whatever. There's this whole ordeal like, oh, Kevin, you went to a Mexican restaurant, so you think you're friends with this person or that person, or weird things that don't make sense. Really what they're saying is, we don't want you to leave your house, get food, and starve to death, or we can force you into a mental institution. But more importantly, I sort of explain it while driving, but I'm going to expand on it a little. The types of things that happen to me, which show these worldwide connected conspiracies with instant internet-based communication tools, is, for example, and this has happened at this El Pollo Loco and many other places with different tactics. Let's say I go to El Pollo Loco, it's a Mexican restaurant. All the Hispanic women or people on my social networks will start posting subtweets at the same time, sort of directed at me, or maybe jokes about my conversation with the employee, and the conversation won't be anything weird. They'll be like, hi, how are you? I'll have this, thank you, goodbye, here's some cards. That's it. But they'll somehow collect what they can because they want to send me, use their spy game tactics with Brian Longbottom, and I won't go into what he was doing at Universal Studios with all that money to me. They'll start hinting with their spy game tactic, maybe regurgitating what I say, and this and that on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and every other social network from random strangers worldwide in different states, countries, you name it. And one of those people, buried in billions of these people, is a Latin named Alexis Amor, and she would come on instantly after going to El Pollo Loco, or when I take a walk out of my house, she would instantly pop on the internet, making maybe a Twitter comment, and same with like Luna Star and all these other either Peruvian or Latin or Argentinian or whatever, all at the same exact time, and little cryptic subtweets regurgitating aspects. Maybe I'd go out and I'd take a walk, and I don't know, just maybe I trip over something while taking a walk, and then maybe some Latin girl, well, Latin would only apply to the Mexican restaurant, but maybe some random girl in Russia would make a tweet comment like, I hate stumbling over weeds, or something like that. Now, without obsessing on the single person, what's most important is not the person, because what the police and people are trying to do is say, Kevin, you're obsessed with this person and you're a stalker, and Kevin, you're obsessed with that person and you're a stalker. But what's important is what they're doing, or the important question you need to ask yourself is, how is this person in Britain, China, Russia, Argentina, Peru, whatever, instantly getting information about Kevin Perlman, like he tripped over a weed, he went to the El Pollo Loco at Winnetka. Instantly, thing after thing after thing after thing like this. Once again, we're kind of back to the voice to skull-ish tactics to collapse your brain. Why? Well, that is the question of all questions, and it starts at 5 years old. So when you ask the whys, why is Kevin Perlman being hunted, you're going to have to realize that the answer isn't going to make any rational sense. Because the why might be that I picked my nose. We're talking about psychotic murderers. The why doesn't apply to sane situations. And you're not going to get the answer unless the person who started the murder operation comes forward and says. The why could have been, I said fuck you to my mother at 14, but that's not the why. This starts at 5 years old, and they're obviously government flagging and eradication operations, because there is no real legitimate why. But most importantly, I want you to understand how the internet-based stalking, the government-built internet communication tools are used to instantly disseminate information to torture, kill people, or try to put them in mental institutions, jail cells, or eradicate them, no matter what it takes. And most importantly, if me or any of the other targets are bad people, then all you have to do is arrest them for the crime. That's it. If I built a atomic bomb and blew up 100,000 people in a football stadium, then all they have to do is arrest me for that and prove it. But they can't. And the reason they can't is because none of it has ever happened or existed. Hence the Terrence Scroggins being paid off by DNC and LAPD to try to cover up these operations and things like that. So he also mentions entrapment, which is interesting, because what we're talking about here has nothing to do with entrapment. Following someone from place to place in mass groups, trying to set them up from stranger to stranger, has nothing to do with entrapment. Frame jobs have nothing to do with entrapment. What entrapment is, which most people know, is, let's say the police have a female detective and she goes to a hotel room and she puts up an ad, I'm a prostitute, and you call the number and you come down and you hand her the money. That's entrapment. Okay? Kevin, let's go to strip clubs. Kevin supposedly stalked a stripper. Kevin supposedly provoked the stripper, hunt him down and kill him. Kevin tapped his foot around Aubrey Fisher. For 6 years worldwide, hundreds of people per day, if you see Kevin tap your foot. None of that has anything to do with entrapment, but he's sort of trying to make me think I did something wrong. Also remember, when I'm saying that people tap their foot, because I tapped my foot around Aubrey Fisher, this is at LAX airport, hundreds of people in LAX airport, hundreds of people per day in Florida, Las Vegas, Washington, DC, Seattle, Washington, whatever, right? Mexico. That is not the same thing. He's saying, oh, hey, I know what you did earlier, some guy at Disneyland. These aren't the same things, and that's how he's sort of trying to curve and shade my arguments into, put his words into my mouth, if that makes sense, and to go tell everyone, see, I talked to him, and he's definitely crazy. But he knows I'm not crazy because he followed me in the first place. And like I said before, if you follow someone somewhere going, he's crazy or he's a bad person, I'm going to do this or that, then you've already shown that you're involved in some kind of conspiracy. That you're creating the very problem that you're pitching. Example, I'm out running my company and doing all these things with my life, and I'm social and this and that, and a group of people are following me around. Kevin's crazy, we need to remove him from society. I turn 29, something freaky's going on. See, I told you so, he's crazy. No, he's not crazy. He figured out what's going on, and now they gotta cover it up, right? And that's the point behind gang stalking. We're running around saying he's crazy for no reason, then he finds out, then he's crazy. That's gang stalking. So what you're seeing is this predator, I don't want Kevin talking. I'm going to try to trip him up and get him to say something. It doesn't even matter what I say. The only thing that really matters is his actions. And his actions are to follow someone somewhere, try to make him look crazy, and then attack him with mass groups and angry rage, saying you don't talk or we kill you, which I have so many recorded death threats like that, and physical attacks under all those same circumstances. You better not talk or we're going to kill you. And people that run around saying you don't talk or we kill you, or you're a snitch, you're dead, or whatever, aren't the types of things people say unless they have something to hide. Okay, we're gonna buy food at the Pollo Loco here. Usually what happens, aside from the cars backwards and people waiting and all that, Hispanic people coming online on like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram with comments directed, like subtweets directed towards me after buying the Mexican food, if that makes sense. See what this guy's doing here. So for example, maybe Alexis Amore and Luna Star and other Hispanic porn stars and strippers come online as if they're food or something on a menu. Okay, and I'm just sort of documenting all the people waiting with lights on. Right, I see like 3 of them. Okay, car backwards, as if they're food. But the question you need to ask is, how do these people all across the entire world know that Kevin just went to El Pollo Loco, right? Now you're seeing the people waiting in cars. That's one method. They'll text out to the world on these worldwide networks. The other is GPS tracking and every privacy violation known to man with my cell phone, computers, whatever, with the NSA, police, government. To sort of track everything I do and give it out to the masses worldwide. Okay, so let's order food.
Hi, welcome to Pollo Loco. What can I get started, please?
Hi, get a 4-piece.
I'm sorry, how can I help you?
Hi, get a 4-piece.
Leg and thigh or the half chicken?
Say it again?
Leg and thigh or the half chicken?
Yeah, the half chicken.
Okay, so half chicken, what are your 2 side orders?
Mac and cheese and mashed potatoes.
With drink or without?
With drink, get a Coke.
Okay, mac and cheese and mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also get a street corn chicken salad.
Wait, sorry, you want corn or flour?
Oh, sorry, flour.
Flour tortillas and what type of drink?
Coke.
Coke, okay.
And then get a street corn chicken salad.
Street corn tostada?
Yeah.
Regular or double chicken?
What, is that the
Just
same
street
thing?
corn by itself?
No, the enchilada, the salad.
With drink?
No, oh, by itself, yeah.
Okay.
And then 2 orders of churros.
Okay.
And that's it.
21.85.
Alright. Okay, we have another truck here waiting with lights on. Right, some of them might just be pulling up waiting, but you know, if they're here for a long time, there's a lot of them, then it's obvious why they're really doing it. And then a lot of them see me, and so they wait in their cars to try to provoke me, right? Like I'm looking at the guy across towards the, I'll show you out when we leave. He's still, I was pointing him out earlier on the other side of the lot, waiting with the lights on. He's still waiting with the lights on. You know, why is he waiting so long? And we could actually probably go on to, you know, Twitter right now and see who comes on. And we can see if Alexis Amore comes on, the Peruvian porn star that's been working on me for so many years. And you'll instantly know. So at the moment I don't see anything online, but okay. Oh, cards.
What is this for?
Oh, the cards with the juice. Yeah, check it out. It's a website. Oh, check it. Give it out to everyone. Picture up.
There is sauce and bread.
Great. Oh, thank you. Okay, he didn't want the card, so he kind of wanted to give them back. I said, give them out to everyone, right? Because they don't want that truth. Another thing that just kind of happened is a guy wearing green and black, which is one of the tactics, walked all the way over this way to the side of my car, looked at the side of my car, then walked back. He's actually... Yep.
Voice to skull, bro.
What?
Voice to skull.
Oh, Voice of Skull. Oh, yeah, the gang stalking? Yeah. Oh, check out, go to the website.
I'm gonna check you out.
Okay, cool.
I got 3 Masons in my family, dude.
3 what?
3 Masons.
Masons? Are you in the Illuminati?
No, my family.
Yeah. Or what?
Was killed or something, dude.
You said Masons, though. What do you mean?
Huh?
You said Masons. What do you mean?
My family.
Yeah, or... I don't know what that means.
You don't know what a Freemason is?
Oh, like the Illuminati stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Gang stalking's about police hunting down and killing people. I don't know. Gang stalking is about the police hunting down and killing people. It's not about religion or anything.
Yeah, but Freemasons take part in that, dude.
Well, maybe in your world, but...
In my case, probably, yeah.
But saying someone killed someone, in my life, saying someone killed someone and saying we're going to lock you in jail or kill you in my life has nothing to do with religion.
Oh yeah. It could be
Yeah,
different from-
but it could be, they could be different. There's different reasons for different people.
Yeah.
So.
Like if you have like politicians in your family or.
Yeah, exactly.
police,
Yeah. So.
My stepdad is a fire chief.
Okay.
And we don't get along, so yeah.
So that could, if he has resources in the government, that'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, he married my mom, so things have been fucked up ever since.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been homeless for like 15 years.
Oh man, that sucks.
I mean, I can get jobs and stuff, but I've had voice to skull for like 2 or 3 years. I've had them fucking with my dreams.
What are their tactics?
I mean, it's like shit you wouldn't believe. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
Well, trust me, I've been through it for 18/42 years.
They do with me, they only do the voice to skull. They've stopped that like 3-4 years ago. They quit.
But what specifically?
They were doing it when I was using drugs downtown.
But what were they
I'd
doing?
Pick up some meth or some heroin,
Uh-huh.
and then I'd take the bus somewhere, and I'd all of a sudden be hearing voices. And then like for days after, but I don't hallucinate off shit like that.
So what were they? Can you explain it?
You hear all sort of satanic shit, like they're just talking about all sort of Satan loves his children, like.
So people were walking by.
It was going on for like days and days, dude.
People were walking by saying
yes,
that.
and then there was street theater. They'd be like,
Yeah, I know that
people in the ghetto. Oh shit, we got a problem because I was changing my clothes. 'Cause I noticed they were following me, so I duck in somewhere, change my clothes, and the same people would be like, you know, talking to something or like talking to somebody. But you notice they're looking at you and following you, like places that there's no people. You know,
Yeah.
I go to Disneyland in Orange County, and they're like, "Nice try." They're saying shit like off the cuff to me, like about stuff I was doing earlier in the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trying to spook you.
Yeah, and then I go on the bus.
Yeah, the spy
and they're talking
games.
about, oh yeah, we're gonna go buy vitamins and do drugs. I'm like, well, who are you talking to? Like, they'd be talking to the air.
No, they do that
Why
that
you
type of thing.
spook you?
They call it spy
This
games.
goes on for years though.
Yeah,
Like,
stranger after
and now it
stranger,
just
right?
stops. It's like I don't know to say this shit anymore. It just stopped. I
Yeah.
had a kid and stuff, but shit stopped once I stopped doing drugs. You know, like I
Oh.
don't know if they're trying to make it seem like that though. So like, oh, so if you go to the cops, then it's like, well, do you do drugs or like whatever? But they were fucking with my dreams before that. You know, I was having
What do you mean though
weird
by
altered
fucking with your
dreams,
dream? What does that
like
mean?
nightmares every night in a row. Nightmare.
Like
nightmare,
they're
nightmare.
making you
Waking
have
up in the
nightmares?
middle of the night, having weird graphic nightmares. You know, and I start reading about the technology, and I'm like, oh, well, it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, they have supercomputers. They have all this shit. They have satellites. They have, you know, spy equipment is pretty simple shit.
Well, if you can go, think about
Radio
it.
waves,
If
I
you
mean,
can go,
read
if
about
you can go, if the consumer can go to Google Earth,
You can buy the shit, some of it.
then think of the government level resources
Yeah,
of
and
Google
that was-
Earth.
I heard about it today. That was originally a CIA project. Google Earth.
Oh, I'm sure. The internet was originally created by the government. Yeah, went to government colleges, and then trickled down to private sector.
They try to make you look crazy. My stepdad was like, "Oh, you can't handle life, so why don't you go live in an insane asylum or
like a mental institution."
What kind of family does that?
That's what my family's doing.
They're
They're
always down on me like I'm their only fucking kid in the family, and they will do nothing to encourage me. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't handle society now because the Mexicans are here and all this shit. Like, like
But do they start
foreigners.
provoking you? Like for my family, they
Yeah.
provoke me to try to
Yes.
trigger me, and then they go,
Yes.
"I didn't do anything,"
Right, yes.
and then try to force me in a mental institution, saying, "I want you to have a good life,"
Yeah.
and I'm saying like, "Well, why are you trying to make me look crazy
Right.
and lock me in a mental institution to have a good life? Why don't you just let me have a good life?"
Right. They have so much money. My family has a lot of money, property.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, they got a couple of my older relatives just died on my stepdad's side.
Did
they
you-
had multiple properties?
you
They
grew-
could have just gave me one and said, "Here, go be by yourself."
Sounds like my father's in my stepfather's big real estate.
I've been to their properties, and like as soon as his dad, who was a police officer, police chief, died, he had like 3-4 properties that I knew of. And
Uh-huh.
probably more. Wisconsin, Arizona. I've been to them. You know.
Did you grow up here?
No, I was born here, but I didn't grow up here.
Oh, do you what? High
Yeah,
school
like, check
here?
this
or-
out. My grandfather worked for the media.
Oh, that's
The
even worse.
newspaper.
Okay, I mean, do you know who I am? Like,
I think I've seen your
I-
cards maybe, but
okay, yeah.
I do stuff
but
on
but
BitChute or YouTube or
oh, I have thousands of YouTubes of mass
you go on
attacks.
BitChute at all?
Oh, do I what?
BitChute?
No, what's BitChute?
It's
No,
on
what's
YouTube? It's an alternative.
Oh,
I mean, it used
no.
to be free speech, but now it's being revealed that they are kind of part of the
okay?
monopoly.
Yeah, no, I used to work for Universal Studios,
Oh,
and
there you go.
one of the people in my life was turning the So most of the world knows me, but a person named Brian
I
Longbottom.
believe you don't know about the Freemasons and stuff like that.
Well, I mean,
Working in university.
I know about the whole Illuminati theories, but I don't believe in those religious things. Hey, you know what? There might be religious cults or whatever, but that's...
And you worked in Hollywood. Do you think there might be?
Well, listen, if I'm not part of some kind of cult, then I don't know about them, right? You know what I'm saying? You have to be part of a cult to believe in a cult.
You would be around them noticing this shit, you know, like...
Well, my gang stalkers worldwide aren't cult members. All the Topanga Division, LAPD, aren't cult members. They're pissed off people running around saying when you were 16, you committed all these crimes that don't exist in anger and rage, saying we're going to remove you from society, and it all comes down to 5 years old.
Why are they after you? Like, why you?
Well, it's complicated, but it all comes down to government and the psychology community flagging, labeling, and kill or eradication operations. Okay? So, my entire family, they all have secondary psychology degrees.
Okay.
My father's linked in with lawyers and the police, and my other stepfather's buys real estate everywhere. And what happens is, the government says, I think this person's the next Unabomber. We're going to watch them, or we're going to try to prove it. Or we just don't feel safe around you, so we're going to remove you from society, or we're going to kill you if we can't.
Have you said anything to them? Like, you don't agree with this? Like,
yeah, after finding out, and after...
Agree with our involvement in foreign wars, or like anything like that?
Well, no, my website explains how the cops... Let me put it this way. I have on surveillance video 4 police break-in attempts.
Okay,
when I was 29, they sent a guy named Rody Morales after me. Let's go to strip clubs. This happened 4 times. In each state I lived in, people wanted to take me to strip clubs, and then the world was told that I was stalking strippers and things like this.
Entrapment.
29. Well, entrapment means you have to actually commit a crime, but they couldn't get me.
They're like, hey,
exactly.
With us. Go to the strip club, loosen you up a bit, you know.
Correct. Except it's not really entrapment. They're set up in frame jobs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that's the same. That's what.
No, it's not the same, because entrapment means you fell for the trap.
Okay.
But if someone keeps doing the same, I'm going to keep trying to set you up.
I notice patterns, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I keep seeing it. Yeah.
So this guy tried to plant at 29 a trash bag full of marijuana in my house.
Yeah.
That's not really entrapment, because he's putting it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not going out and selling drugs. Right. He's planting it on me.
Yeah.
So that's a crime on the police's behalf. But they're trying to make me.
You can prove it, like hands
It's
down,
all proven. I even have newspaper clippings of Rody Morales working with the LAPD to catch someone, catch a murderer, and after that, the LAPD was telling the world that I killed someone.
Yeah.
Did you see the connections?
Yeah.
Okay, so this, for me, it's not about weird cult things. It's about the police digging a hole for themselves and the psychology community, and they can't get out of it. And the only way for them to get out of it is to eradicate me, because they don't want the entire planet to know that everything they were told about Kevin Perlman are lies, so they got to try to make me look crazy and this and that, right? So, but each situation is different. It changes from person to person. Some guy might be dating a girl and her ex-boyfriend's a cop and is jealous, and he hunts the guy down and tries to kill him by making him mentally ill, right?
Shit like that.
Yeah, you don't know. And all the things they're mad at me about are like, you picked your nose wrong at 5 years old and shit. It doesn't even make any sense, right? It's like, right?
Yeah, no, like with my family, they are, 2 of them are involved with the Masons, Illuminati, and all that shit about the Georgia Guidestones. If you look into it, that's what they believe. Like, they want to guide reproduction. They don't want you to have kids. And this is everywhere in society. You see it in our schools. They're teaching kids to be gay. They're teaching.
Well, I see all that. But are you?
So if you're against that, then they definitely want you out of the way. Especially if you're a loudmouth or if you're a powerful, influential.
Oh yeah,
person.
totally.
If you're not rich, if you have a strong personality and you can influence other people.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, over and over, right? That I didn't even realize they were going on.
And teachers are the most involved nowadays.
Well, if you think about it, if you go to a public high school or middle school, that's a government institution.
Pays their bills,
And even if you look at Sean Dinsey, I'm sure you know the name, Sean Dinsey.
I don't know.
Oh, he is the psycho
cop that's been hunting me down, writing falsified police reports, which everyone worldwide seems to know him. And he was running for City Council, District 12, for 2019, and trying to get a political pedestal to hunt down people. And if you go to his Facebook account, there's all sorts of disturbing shit about putting people with addiction into mental institutions, or you don't follow people around who are addicted or mentally ill or possibly mentally ill and go, I'm gonna lock you in a mental institution, because normally that doesn't happen, and that's really hate. Does that make sense? So I don't trust you, so you need to be in a mental institution. You drank too much beer, you need to be in a mental institution. He's going down, he's busting people for having parties. Not noise disturbances, but parties. And then he's posting on his Facebook, I've notified everyone in the community to stop this guy from having parties before it happens.
Oh, this
It's
has gotta
not
be in some rich neighborhood, right? I mean,
yeah, well, Woodland Hills, but still, it's not illegal to have a party. People have parties all the
you
time.
should see the neighborhood my girlfriend lives in. It's fucking wacko with these Mexican balloon shit. Out
Yeah,
there in the,
right?
5 in the morning, they're out there with the mariachi band on Mother's Day, and we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
Cops
have,
don't even do nothing about that. It's like, what the fuck?
because it's not a crime.
Yeah.
Okay, noise disturbances, they can call the cops and go, look, it's too loud, turn it down.
It usually takes them an hour to 2 or 3 hours to get there. You know,
Sure,
for
but
that.
it's not. But do you understand the difference between someone called the police and we came out versus we're gonna stop you from having a party before it happens?
But you can't. It's private property or like.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not illegal, right? So this guy literally has riled up the masses worldwide to be part of what he calls a neighborhood watch group.
Yeah.
Is a neighborhood murder stalking group. To follow people around and provoke them and try to set them up to lock them in mental institutions, those he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Well, that's Adolf Hitler.
I mean, those are pretty soft reasons. I mean, just for having a party. I mean, usually I would think it's for like more outspoken stuff, like political stuff, or like, you know, like.
Yeah.
Or like maybe you're a drug dealer, or maybe
But it's
something a little
still-
bigger than, well, you know, like parties and stuff like that.
Correct, but the point is he's not going after people for crimes.
Wow.
He's going after people because he doesn't like them. Like Adolf Hitler, I don't like Jews, put a bolt in their head.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the same thing. There's no crime in a party. Cops aren't allowed normally to rile up. Okay, two things. Cops aren't allowed to go after people for having parties. They're not allowed to contact private citizens, turn them into vigilantes and say, everyone help me, go after party throwers, because a private citizen, once the private citizen starts pretending they're a cop, that's a crime. That's a vigilante, right? He's actually doing these things. And I have proof of all these things, screenshots of his Facebook, everyone, neighborhood watch meeting. Then I have the neighborhood watch meeting, people attacking me on video. I even have set up operations with neighborhood watch groups trying to get me to go after homeless people to sort of like get me into their gang. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, they want it. I mean, California, that's another, yeah. If you're homeless in California, they want you gone. They want to get rid of you, yeah.
Yeah, and that's...
Especially in like waterfront areas like Venice. They had a huge campaign going after people living in their RVs and all kinds of
Yeah,
shit.
and Dincy is on the forefront of, you're not perfect,
Right, yeah.
you need to be locked away.
Yeah. Leftist Nazis, yeah, basically.
Yeah, and it's crazy, it's insane. We cannot have people like that hunting us down because we can't live in peace. That's the bottom line.
These people, they have no accountability. Yeah, it's true. It's going to be a tough one to get accountability for like judges, anybody in government. Basically, they have no accountability.
No.
They do need a community watch group to oversee like police.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with neighborhood watch groups, but the job of a neighborhood watch
I'm
group.
not saying to watch the enforcers. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like,
well, that
good
too.
job,
Yeah.
that needs to be watched.
Everything needs to be
watch
held
them,
accountable.
not us,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
Because we pay their fucking salary.
Exactly.
You know? Like, the Constitution
They're here to
doesn't
help
mean
us.
anything Because, I mean, up until what, a couple weeks ago when Trump supposedly went to Europe and met with the Queen of England or whatever, we were still a British colony. Up until a couple weeks ago or a month ago, whatever that was.
I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know
We were
what.
still under British control.
What do you mean? I don't understand that. Whatever. We don't need to. That's off topic. and I haven't been watching Trump, but no, I mean, you're right. Accountability for everything, right? And the cops here are running rampant, and just listen to the police scanners. Seriously, you go on there's internet-based websites, and they just stream the police.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, they just convert the police to a stream, scanner to a stream, and you just shit you hear on that is like, holy shit, these guys are out to help us. Yeah, and so yeah, no. And that's why we're supposed to have internal affairs and FBI. Trust me, the amount of information I've delivered to internal affairs about what's going on and FBI is insane alone. But a lot of people don't want to get involved because it's like, oh, he's a fellow police officer. You know, it's like, well, we need to be safe. Right? So.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Okay, bro. Okay, so the guy's a fake. And when he said, okay, there's a guy waiting in a car here. That guy said, we're a British colony still. I don't know what the fuck he was saying, but when I said, I don't understand what the hell you're saying, he stopped talking. He finished off with the man tactic. Right, call me man. Pretend to be your friend and call you man. But most importantly, okay, so a green and black was waiting for me or saw me and then started working on me. But most importantly, he was trying to make me look crazy. He was talking about Freemasons. He was talking about Freemasons and Illuminati, and then trying to trick me like, oh, everyone in Hollywood's in the Illuminati. Most importantly, when I asked him specifically, now I want you to see the lights from this car over here. I think he's been waiting for me like half the time with lights on, but I'm not sure. There's been several others. But most importantly, when I asked him specifics, he couldn't answer. Okay, so this guy's waiting in the car, lights on backwards. There's a guy in green and black, instantly knew to come up to my car. Did he follow me here? I can't tell you. But how do you know the guy's a fake? When I asked him specific questions. When I asked him specific questions about what they were doing to him, he couldn't answer specifically. Everything was vague. They're doing voice to skull. Well, what are they doing? What specifically are they doing to you? He can't answer, right? And then he starts saying weird things about British and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And he says that we're still a British colony. And I was like, what are you talking about, right? He stopped talking after that. And then afterwards, he was done and he had nothing left to say because he exposed himself. So he just stopped talking altogether. And then he got mad and he said, okay, man, but bye, whatever, with the man tactic, right? Showing that his entire reasoning to walking up to me and talking to me was trying to make me look crazy. That is why he's talking to me. Now, he played this game, he doesn't know me, or then he sort of vaguely, I think I might have seen one of your cards, but I'm 10 times more known than Donald Trump. I'm known worldwide. I'm attacked by every person I'm in contact with. And when he seemed to latch on was when I passed out cards to the employees at El Pollo Loco. That's really the hinge of, well, now I'm going to try to make you look crazy and this and that. I couldn't get what I wanted. I couldn't try to tell you about the Illuminati and get weird, freaky Illuminati answers to try to make you look crazy. So he sort of lashed out with the packaged man tactic, which worldwide groups are told to say to me. And now, by the way, I might go from place to place and they might say man to me over and over, because that's usually what happens. Showing that we don't want you to talk or we'll kill you, with psychological warfare tactics. So there you go. He's not really on this camera. He might be on the DVR. But you've heard the conversation like so many others. The fake guy trying to make me look crazy by pretending he's a gang stalking target and trying to get me to say things that he can run around saying Kevin believes in the Illuminati. He's crazy, right? But remember, this Illuminati thing is a packaged thing, which many people do to me, showing that it's not one random event. It's people trying to flip me out or make me look crazy or belittle me or whatever, right? To cover up the situation. Also, picking apart the conversation, he's talking about military institutions in Santa Monica. There's no military institution in Santa Monica. There's a police station and a courthouse by Colorado Boulevard. And when he's talking about drones, he's not talking about military drones. He's talking about the $500 to $1,000 DJI drones, which you buy everywhere off eBay or whatever, with GoPros attached to them, right? So the drones are GoPro cameras, right? That's what the drone is. It's a GoPro camera. That's what he's talking about, these military people, kids or adults buying DJI or similar drones with GoPros on them, right, or other similar cameras. Oh, another note is, I think a couple of times in his dialogue, he said wow, and he was hinting about Alexis Amore. Remember that I told you that probably Mexican people would come online while buying El Pollo Loco. Wow is a reference about Alexis Amore and some of their tactics, who's Peruvian or Latin. Another El Pollo Loco. Okay, so you get the idea. Well, I didn't really see anyone coming online this time that was Latin. There was the reference about Alexis Amore, which I joke around now, calling wowzers, right? So you get the idea. A reference about wowzers, Alexis Amore, the Latin, and then the man tactics, and this and that. From some guy that wanted to run up to me in the green and black army camo tactic to try to make me look crazy while telling everyone I think I'm in the military. Wanting to spark that conversation to try to make me look crazy or get a angry reaction. There you go. It's all on video.
Okay, so you've seen this predator on video now, and you kind of, I don't spend much time, but you see the groups of people in the parking lot. There's not too many. It's a quiet night. Usually there's a lot more going on at a Pollo Loco and everywhere else directed me, but in the parking lot it's fairly mellow. Aside from the girl that walks by, which is very strange. Maybe she's kind of like, don't talk, or maybe not, but that's the whole concept of trying to make someone paranoid, or look paranoid. Some possible lights on might just be people. The one backwards though, with the lights on, waiting, and I think there were a couple of others, and I didn't get them all on video. That is one of the people, whether they saw me and did it, or they followed me there. But this guy actually looks like he probably followed me after I left my house. But either way, it doesn't matter, because any person, 8 out of 10 people I see worldwide, they already know me before I see them, and they don't have to follow me because they're given the information beforehand to take turns on me to try to make me look crazy and paranoid and like a violent paranoid schizo. Hence, people not coming forward, especially people in the LAPD, police, government, NSA, FBI, even Congress and Senate, since I've been with policeabuse.com all over the United States of America, with Private Investigator Miller working with Don Jackson Kamau Diop from policeabuse.com, an ex-LAPD police sergeant. You get the idea. If people aren't coming forward, they're part of the problem, because they're just sitting by everyone kill that guy, and then try to make him look like a violent paranoid schizo. But anyways, my point is that the person in the lot either could have followed me, all of them, or they just see me and they do the given set of tactics which they're given. And while these tactics are literally in the thousands, I'll just give you a few examples. When people see me, they're told to turn their cars backwards, park their cars backwards, and park their cars backwards in pairs of 2s and 3s or more. But large groupings in 2s and 3s, people are told when they see me, honk their alarm horn 2 or 3 times. People are told when they see me, say things in 3s like yes, 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 or snap, or whistle as they walk by me. And these aren't always people that follow me. They just see me and they know instantly there's Kevin Perlman, start whistling. Or there's Kevin Perlman, park your car backwards. And I have video footage of endless parking lots where 98% of the cars are forwards. I park my car there, and then within minutes, cars start showing up parking backwards. Now, they're not all following me. They're seeing me, and they're going, there's Kevin Perlman, I park my car backwards. That's not really voice to skull, it's more of a visual to skull, whatever. To try to make it look like I suffer from hallucinations. So you get the idea. Then what will happen, let's say I go to a coffee shop, the longer I'm there, it'll start with Kevin arrived, notify everyone to show up. And so the people that are working the pre-tact, I don't know what you call it, like the before I arrive tactics, the pre-tactics. Maybe I walk into a coffee shop, someone sees me and they put one foot up on a chair. Maybe 10 people do that, literally, for 15 years. And then the group starts showing up, all with solid black pants, solid green shirts. Then maybe in half an hour later, solid black pants, solid yellow shirts, like 10 all at the same time. As people walk by you, maybe they're talking to their friend, mimicking something you tweeted the night before, or a conversation from your childhood to their friend, trying to flip me out to get me to go ballistic and make it look like I'm a violent paranoid schizo. The labels that Sean Dinsey and many others at LAPD and the government have been throwing on me my entire life, but they're all based on fiction or thin air, so much so that when I was in 10th grade, they told Mr. Quigley, my English teacher, to tell me to punch Paul Shapiro in my class, and I said no. Now, once you start putting the pieces together here, why are high school government, public high schools, government entities telling me to punch students, and when I don't, I'm told that I'm a violent paranoid schizo to the world in secret. Do you understand? Okay, so now that you've seen this, and you've seen this fraud, and you've seen this predator who's working on me to try to silence me for what I know, he's not playing games, he's not saying let's toy with the crazy guy. These are worldwide, strategic, calculated, premeditated, all day and night, 24/7, never-ending operations. It's not one of your friends just dicking around going, there's something on your shirt. Oh, that's joking around. Okay, these are murder operations. or eradication operations, which is the same exact thing. You're sitting there living your life. Oh, hey, there's mass groups trying to kill me. What's it about? You're imagining it. You're crazy. We're going to lock you in a mental institution. Gaslighting, gang stalking, mass conspiracies to hurt, harm, maim, kill with premeditation and motive beforehand. Okay, in such a way that makes it look like you're crazy and violent. Okay, so now, keep in mind this is all within 24 hours. You're going to see me going to random places the next day, just trying to get out, get some fresh air, try to keep my health up, which they obviously don't want. That's the point. And you're going to see at each and every location I go, people waiting for me, people following me with the man tactic to try to set me up, to get me to hit someone, go ballistic on someone, working with people like Lead Officer Sean Dinsey, the judicial system, trying to make it look like I'm a danger to society. Karine T. Phillips, prosecutors flat out told my attorney, with the judicial systems, they want to incarcerate me for life. They want to incarcerate Kevin Perlman for life. Dinsey has stated I'm a menace to society, yet there's no actual reason why. Everything Dinsey says is fabrications, and all the people Dinsey is working with in his so-called neighborhood murder groups, which I have endless proof of and is right up on his Facebook account, and Dinsey contacting people, which I have proof of, before his falsified arrest, showing he was hunting me down on some kind of personal or government agenda or vendetta to silence, kill, eradicate me, or rid me of the world. I knew this before it was even going to happen, and I have the audio recordings to prove it. Showing that Dinsey, his so-called, I'm getting people together in my neighborhood watch groups, are operations to have them follow and stalk and hunt, torture, kill, or set people up to eradicate them. Okay, so now that you've seen this predator and stalker hunting me, trying to silence me, now I'm going to show you some of the, within the 24 hours of the next day, the mass groups from city to city, which are always worldwide. This information instantly goes worldwide, and they're given the thugging and ramp up tactics to try to silence me. For example, I have this conversation, everywhere I go people say man. I can guarantee that if I were to have hopped in an airplane yesterday and flew to Nebraska or Florida or New York, everything that you're seeing here would be done in those states, and that information would have been disseminated and has been disseminated instantly, globally, worldwide on these internet, NSA, FBI, government, internet-based kill systems that they started in on me in 1994 when my brother was calling me up on the phone. Kevin, you gotta check out this internet. Kevin, you gotta check out iFriends. Kevin, you gotta do this. Kevin, you gotta do that. Playing both sides of the fence. I'm your brother and I love you, but I'm gonna fucking end your existence no matter what it takes for what you know.